Hey everybody, welcome to our Squirrel live stream this beautiful Thursday, August 29th. Um, we're going to get started in just a minute with the demo. Wanted to walk through a couple of housekeeping items first. I'm Penn Clark, I'm with Squirrel Systems. I'll be acting sort of as moderator and producer for this set. Um, we will be taking questions. So if you have a question at any time during the demo, feel free just to place it in the live chat. You'll see that off to the right-hand side of the video screen. You will need to be logged in either via a Google or YouTube account. But if you place your chat in there, we'll see it. We will be answering all the questions at the end of the session. But note that we won't miss yours. If there is a question we don't have a technical answer to, or it's a question that requires a little more in depth, we will post the answer to that from one of our solution engineers in the on-demand version of this video, which will go up probably first thing tomorrow morning after YouTube does its encoding. So joining me today is Shari McCauley from QSR Automations, a good partner and longstanding strategic partner of Squirrel. And what we're going to be talking about today is how kitchen automation and really restaurant automation is more than just displays. It's more than just, your standard kind of KDS system. It's a lot more capable than that. And we just wanted to share some of the things you might not know you can do with your existing solution, or to give you some insight into the value proposition above and beyond simply replacing paper tickets in the kitchen. So with that, we're going to get the demo started, and I will turn it over to Shari.
Thanks, Penn. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Shari McCauley, and I'm the manager of training for QSR Automations, and I'm excited to go on this journey with you to showcase some of the great things that Connect Smart Kitchen can do for your restaurants. Because, of course, the goal of adding technology to a restaurant is to improve efficiencies and make things faster and more streamlined, and make even a calm, quiet kitchen, which is a thing that we hear quite a bit when people take out paper tickets and put in a kitchen video solution. So what I have on the screen here is just your basic kind of starter, 4 screens kitchen video solution. We have 3 line item prep stations. I've got a grill, a fry, and a salad. And then over here, we have our Grid Expo viewer at the pass station. Basically, what I want to cover are the cool features that are built into Connect Smart Kitchen. And all the things that I'm going to cover here in the beginning are just part of the base solution. I'll make sure that I make note of things that are kind of a next step or an add-on, but I want to make sure we cover all the great things, like Penn said, you might not be taking advantage of now. So one of the things that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of is that the nice thing about Connect Smart Kitchen is that the customizations are endless. One of the things that we have added to our solution that has become increasingly popular is the ability to put summaries inside of an order cell. So if you'll notice here on my bar order for table 405, it's letting the person know that we've got 2 drafts and 2 bottles. Probably in the last couple of years, we've had more and more folks that have added bar prep and bar expo solutions to their bar area or even to their barista area. And that also includes sometimes adding cook times to the drinks. And if you think about it, making a frozen drink versus a draft beer, or pouring a cup of coffee versus a cappuccino, those times are different. And being able to kind of stage when those things route is a big win for folks. Now, if you haven't heard of delay routing, let me move that off and switch this over. Delay routing is part of our table service package, which is in the base solution, and it works with the line item prep stations. And we read in the cook times, and what we do is we'll stage the menu items to the kitchen. And in this example, the chicken wings are displayed somewhere on a prep station. The Scotch eggs and the chili garlic shrimp are in delay. And oh, look, my chili garlic shrimp just came out of delay. So let me minimize this, fire these menu items so I can show you what it does. Okay. So now when we're looking at this expo view, and remember, I'm out front, I'm not in the back or talking to the cooks or yelling at them or walking back there under their feet. I already have some insight into what's happening in the kitchen because the cooks took an action on the menu item. And in this case, it started a timer that's going to release the subsequent items behind it. And also, it lets the people out front know that, hey, my fettuccine is in progress, my burger is in progress, but no one's touched my steak kebabs yet. No one started cooking them. So again, I didn't step out of position to find this out. I just sort of looked at the screen that's right in front of me to understand what's going on. All right. Now, as the cook is completed with their actions, menu items that are prepared turn green. And if this check, which was to the back of the order view, it's going to move to the front. That's automatic sorting. That's things that are just available to make it easier for you to go, oh, look, table 405's appetizers are ready. I can go ahead and grab those and take them out. So those are all things that are just kind of inherent and part of the expo view. And there's one more thing I do want to showcase for you, because we have all had something similar to this happen to us, where an order comes in and then, now in this case, table 500's order got routed and the burger's on the screen in the back. So, the cook might take an action on it, maybe not. But then over the course of a few minutes, now this quesadilla that is the toddler's meal is not delivered to the table, and the server gets requested to get this done right now. Back in the old days, because it has such a short cook time, that person might have had to walk to the back or screamed through the little hole in the wall to say, hey, I need this quesadilla right now. We can highlight a single menu item and we can prioritize that single item back to the kitchen. And what that did was it changed the color of it on the expo, so I know I did it, and it moved the menu item to the top of the line item prep station, where the cooks can be trained to understand that this is a way of the server, kind of quote, yelling at me or walking to the back of house and getting under my feet saying, hey, can you make this quesadilla? We've got an upset toddler in the dining area. So now the cook has taken an action on it. We'll say it's really fast cooking time. Go back over here. And now I'm still out front. I didn't have to yell or walk back in the kitchen, and I can see my quesadilla is done. And a lot of restaurants these days have runners. Maybe it is the server, but someone different might be running the food out to the table. So if I am a runner and I'm not the server for this table, I can go, oh, look, there's that quesadilla. I can tag it within this order. And basically that can tell people at the expo, I grabbed it and took it out there. So now when the rest of the menu items are completed as the server, when I get ready to take them out to the table, I'm aware that the quesadilla has been delivered to the toddler. There we go. So now, as the server, my order is done. The burger's up. The burger's at the expo. The pork chops are at the expo. This quesadilla has already been delivered, and I'm going to take the rest out to the parents. And that's kind of the cool things around the expo side of the world. And then, oh, look here, we have a flashing tab. One of the neat things that we kind of put in place with kind of right around the pandemic time was being able to have a kind of a fully functional second station on one piece of hardware. So in this example, I have split out my destinations. So I have my dine-in guests and their orders live up here on the front. And then my secondary orders for off-premises are now on a second tab. I have full touchscreen capabilities with those. And this way, because my dining room is full and I'm still getting or even getting more off-premises orders now than ever, I can keep them separated, even if I'm just one person out front. So I don't accidentally put, the chef salad on a plate. I'm fully aware it's a takeout order and it's telling me this is delivery, just like this one's telling me it's a curbside order. We put these little numbers up here on the tabs just to kind of keep you on top of how many things are happening on the different views. Now the spy tab, I apologize for that getting so small like that every time. The spy tab provides a kind of a peek into the kitchen as to what's going on back there, just so you can kind of not have to yell or get back under their feet to understand what's happening. And in this example, we have a burger that got rang in. I'm not at the actual station. I can't interact with this. By default, the spy views are just that. It's a peek into the kitchen. The nice thing about it is that you can put spy tabs on any view or on every view in the kitchen. So if your head chef is primarily working the grill, but you've got fry and a salad, a saute, and maybe a sushi station, whatever, you can put spy tabs at the station where your chef is, and they can take a peek into the rest of the kitchen just by clicking on a tab. So it's a great way to keep on top of things without having to leave position and walk around. And I'm going to skip recipe for right now. but I'm going to show you a custom scorecard. One of the things that we've heard most recently, certainly from the dawn of having a kitchen video solution, but definitely recently, is around the data and the metrics that we're able to capture coming from the kitchen. So what we have here is a snapshot of metrics happening in the back of house. You can put this scorecard on any view, on just the expo, but once you build it, you can use it anywhere. And it's collecting data about different places in the kitchen and displaying it in one place. So if you look here, these are my 4 primary stations. The average time of my stations is displayed here. The average, so this is for the whole day. This is the last 30 minutes. Am I getting better or am I getting worse over the last 30 minutes? Cooking start times are applicable to your prep stations. So that's a nice way to say, hey, is there a station that's kind of taken too long to get started on things, that kind of thing. But then the important time right here is the window time. How long are food items sitting under a heat lamp and potentially dying or needing to be remade because no one's taken them out to the guest? And in this example, folks, they're on it. They're taking their food out to the guest pretty quickly. Tracks the totals, and then here the on-time numbers. Now, when we have conversations with customers, every customer has a goal. Their goal for maybe a quick service restaurant is 6 or 7 minutes per ticket. So we build that into the system, and then we have that number reflected here. When it's a table service restaurant, maybe they say it's 100% of the forecasted cook times of the items on the ticket. Maybe they say it's 110% to give them kind of a buffer. But whatever they tell us, we build it in, and then that's what's reflected as on time. So we have 3 primary statuses: normal, priority, and rush. So anything that did not hit priority or rush is then considered on time. So that's definitely something we can track for folks. Down here, what we have is the ability to change activity levels. That's something that is part of Connect Smart Kitchen, which allows you to expand your kitchen potentially with dual sides of the line, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But this is just a place where you can manage changing levels if you build multiple activity levels. Okay, sorry about that. Under the production tab, this is our bin manager. So bins learn the system and it makes predictions about what it thinks you're going to need based on what you've sold today. Somewhat cook times and hold times are built into that. And it helps you keep things available that are primary items. And in this case, we're 6-ounce chicken breasts. If there's sandwiches and salads and lots of things that get 6-ounce chicken breasts, maybe during your peak periods, you want some way to notify your cooks that you've got to keep on top of this. Keep some chicken breasts in the bin. Same thing with something like a soup. Soup is cooked in a large batch. It's held for a long time. You want to make sure that you don't run out of it during peak times because it takes a long time to cook the large batch. So again, it learns your system and we configure it to display either this way on a production screen. We can put it on a smaller portion of a tab on a view in the back of house. Or on a table service, we can even have it fire what we call phantom tickets, just to kind of keep your team members in the back. It's like, hey, it tells me I need chicken breasts, I'll cook those, or I need to cook some soup, I can cook that. Looks like a transaction, but it fires from the bin. All right, so we'll come back to those other tabs here in just a second. But what I kind of wanted to showcase now is the ability to manage something that people are telling us is really valuable, which is multi-display group load balancing. We have heard from more and more folks that, of course, restaurants are getting busier and busier. And with being busier and busier, they're adding second lines or at least a second station, maybe a second grill or a second fry, whatever their primary cooking method is. So Kitchen has the ability to let you configure what we call multiple display groups, and then you'll load balance between those 2 groups. You can configure this to manage it by order or by item. So depending on how you are managing the kitchen or if you're quick service or table service, you can have it display, a certain number of items or orders on any one view and then send the other menu items to another view. Nice thing is they're not mirror images of each other. If you've taken the time to make an investment in a second piece of equipment to help you with your food preparation, you want to make sure that your kitchen is balancing your orders between those 2 cooking areas in your back of house so that you can maximize throughput. This is typically tied to an activity level change, and we've even got different ways to handle that, whether it's, reroute everything, or if I've taken an action on a menu item because I'm on grill 1 and you change levels to open up grill 2, leave those alone and just move everything else. But lots of different ways you can customize balancing out different cooking areas in the kitchen. We've had a lot of folks that have had new builds that have actually built dual-sided kitchens where the primary side is open full-time. On the weekends, during peak hours where they're fully staffed, they'll open up the other side of the kitchen, and then they add a second display group, and it'll just be the same routing, but they balance it between the two sides to make sure that everything gets done, in a quick amount of time, maybe even faster than before because you've got two sets of cooks working on things. So that is display group load balancing. And you'll notice the transaction numbers here kind of showcasing that they are different transactions and they're just gone to different views to make sure that, again, as a cook, I am maximizing what's happening in the kitchen, getting those orders taken care of very quickly. Okay. So again, as those things are done, they come to the front and oh, look, my takeout tab is flashing. So takeout tabs, off-premises orders, and most recently adding lots and lots of third-party support for off-premises orders. And that has led us to a place where we have had our customers ask about custom order ready views. And custom order ready views allow us to basically showcase where things need to be picked up from third parties. So for example, if you're using an Uber Eats or a DoorDash or a Postmates or any of those things, maybe you have a unique place in the front of house where you're setting those things. Well, now you can have a custom order ready that will help people walking in to pick up those orders know exactly where they need to go. Hey, I'm a mobile order and I'm Charlotte. Well, my order is not ready yet. It's in progress. When my food is done, it'll move over to ready for pickup. I'm a DoorDash person. I'm here to pick up Jackson David's order. It's not ready yet. So as you're taking action on menu items in the kitchen, and when the orders go prepared, they will move from in progress to ready for pickup, and then the drivers or the third parties can come in and get those orders very efficiently and leave with those in a timely manner. Oh, it looks like my display groups are definitely busy now too with the dual grill things. So if I go ahead and fire these items, and the ability to have the uh, delay routing with menu item cooking is just part of the setup of it. So basically we're reading in those cook times, and the goal of those things is to not only make sure that we get everything to the expo window at the same time, like a well done steak might take 15 minutes, but a salad takes 2. We want to make sure that we don't have that salad sitting under a heat lamp for the other 12 minutes while the steak is being prepared. But it also applies to off-premises orders. So if you have future orders that are coming in, that delay will be built into when things are going to show up on the station. So if you've got a 14-minute cook item on a delayed order, if I place my order at noon to pick up at dinner, it'll route that order to the respective screens in time for the items to be done for me to pick it up at 6. So delay routing is kind of a twofold thing. And let me see here. Oh, the other thing I want to show you. If the point of sale is able to send it to us, we are able to display the car make, model, and color on an order cell, which is super handy for curbside orders. This obviously came out of things with the pandemic where we're trying to keep people out of the buildings, but it's been a really popular thing to add into the order cell, so you know exactly. Oh, there's the gray van. That must be Brian for his chef salad, and you can take it out there because it was a curbside ticket. Next order is done, and so on. So now on my checks here, you can see that I've got 11 carryout orders and 11 expos. Maybe this has been going on for a while in my restaurant, and I decide to make an investment in a secondary area where I'm going to manage my off-premises. So what I have here is not only can you have a kind of a tab view of your carryout that you can interact with, but you can add a whole separate station to be just an expo for that. So maybe you add a door to some part of the back part of the lobby, and you put out shelves or you'll even lockers to say, hey, here's where my off-premises orders are going to go, especially for third-party pickup. Just go there. The order ready will tell them when the food is ready to go. But the nice thing is about having a tab over here, but adding a station, you do have to add the station, is that they talk to each other. So if I'm fully staffed and I've got a person in the back of house that is managing all of my off-premises orders and things are just rolling through that kitchen, get that. So now I have my grilled chicken salad that's done. And no matter where I'm standing, if I'm fully staffed and I've got a person back here, when I bump it from here, it automatically takes it off of the other view. So it's super handy to know that you can add stations and have them bump to or from, or even have things move around the back of house just to help maximize efficiency in the kitchens. Because some restaurants are a little bit, gun shy about adding a whole new piece of hardware or adding a whole new section of the restaurant that is kind of required to manage those third parties and off premises checks. But if you add a tab first, and now it's working really well for you, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and add that whole separate station. I'm going to run cables and electric and get a station and put it there. And now I can be fully staffed and have a person back there and manage it. Or if I'm not fully staffed, I could even change activity levels and just have a person here that's managing it. And as the checks are, I've got my to-go orders aren't bumping off of there. That everything is talking to everything else. So it just makes it really nice. This is kind of a segue into, hey, I know off premises is important. I probably need to take advantage of adding something so that I can keep dining and to go guests a little separated. But then as I make an investment in more equipment and maybe even upgrading the space a little bit, especially for the third parties, they'll all talk to each other. So now that's, dump that out. Get rid of this one so I can make these big again. Okay. So I'll leave my load balancing grill up here because that's pretty handy to see. Here's another example of the summaries in there. We have had folks ask for summaries for not just, in this example, we're using drinks, but for off-premises add-ons. So you could have it for, napkins and forks and spoons and plates, because maybe you don't provide those by default. But if you make that an option for people to add it when they're placing their orders, you could put a summary within a cell to do those things. Couple of other cool things I just want to highlight that we have heard from folks that are nice. We have something called demand counters, and bins and demand counters are kind of sister things. Bins learn the business and make predictions. Demand counters are strictly it's rung in and you need it. So in this example, I've got 2 orders of fries, and we can see I have 2 orders of fries right there. Let me go ahead and just bump these off. Oops, went too far. Now we have an option where when you don't have something rung in, when the value is 0, it hides itself. Because something that you probably have heard from your team members before is, hey, I don't see things, right? Especially if it's in a header. So now it's like, well, if you don't see it, that's fine. We'll hide the number. And then as soon as a menu item shows up with that in there, now the number displays. So it's kind of a way to wake up your cooks to go, oh, it was a 0 before, and now it says there's a number in there. I need to go ahead and pay attention and make those fries. We also have customers that not only do it in grid headers, but will add maybe a section down the side and do nothing but current demand counters. It could be for anything that's those quick fry things, if it's poppers and potato wedges and fries and things like that, boneless wings, and just a section of the screen doing nothing but demand counters. And when the value is 0, it's blank. When something gets rung in, it displays. It's kind of alerting your cooks and keeping them, paying attention to the views. So now a couple of things. That's kind of the basic things that Kitchen has in it, and I'm sure that there's a ton more things that I just forgot to cover besides the custom metrics. I'll get to that too. Custom metrics, besides having a full screen dashboard, you can put any metric that you want in the header of every view. You can put the same ones on all views. You can have different ones on different views. So again, if your head chef is working on a particular station and you want to be able to see just a quick hit, maybe how many courses are active on every view in the kitchen, you could put that on a dashboard header. You could also just put that on a summary button. We call that kind of our all day view, I think. Oh. And we have an all day button also that will show you kind of everything that's in progress, and it's just a custom summary. But between that and the ability to put it in a current demand counter, it covers all the things that most of the folks are asking for. Again, just to keep everybody notified. The goal of adding technology in the restaurant is to keep things calm and quiet, keep people in position, because the last thing you want is a bunch of people leaving their expo or dining room positions to walk to the back to get someone's attention. So now one of the things that we have very, very recently added on is something called Recipes Plus. So here we have a menu item that is rung in, and this particular menu item is a bacon cheeseburger. I'm new on the line. I'm not sure how to make it. I can highlight that and I can hit a button and it shows the recipe. And I apologize for that being so small, but basically it is tied to the PLU of the menu item and it will pull up that thing. So I'm on the line, I'm actively serving a customer and I am able to showcase or get a recipe view pulled up that will let me see, hey, this is how you need to prepare this particular menu item. Pull up my grill on another view over here. Okay, here we go. So this one will look a little better for you. There's all of it. And okay, so now it won't do it twice for me. Here we go. There we go. So this is the benefit of having the Recipes Plus solution added into your kitchen. You configure it in the cloud. The recipes are pushed to the site. They're linked to the PLUs of the menu items, and you can have images. You can put allergens at the top of it because this one has kind of a soft cooked egg on there. You can put portions. You can even add multipliers, and you can even add videos. So it's a great addition to the solution. It allows you to be active on the line, preparing products for customers and not have to grab somebody else to show you how to do something. It's just going to work. So at that point, if you've already made all of this and now you just kind of want to see how to make anything in the restaurant, you can get a web view of it. From here, you can customize it down to just seeing the burgers or just seeing any groups that you've configured. Everything you see is customizable, and it really lets you kind of hone in on either station level creations or meal parts and breakfast, lunch, dinner creations in the recipe viewer. So this is fairly new. It's been super popular. We have lots of people that are taking advantage of it because it's a great way to show your cooks how to prepare things without having to step out of position to get that taken care of. Because we all know that when you're busy, you're busy. All right. Now, one more thing that I want to make sure that I cover off is adding a solution called Connect Smart Host. If you're a table service restaurant and you really want to have kind of a connected and really efficiently running restaurant, you can have your back of house talk to your front of house and vice versa. So we offer something called Connect Smart Host that lets you obviously get wait times and create reservations and do all of those things that are going to help you be more efficient and get accurate quote times. But now you can display front of house information on a dashboard in the back of house. So I don't have to walk out of position or yell at a manager, hey, how many open menu counts do I have right now? Well, based on what's rung in for the existing 57 guests we have seated, we have 10 open menus. We have 9 on the wait list. We don't have anybody that's been notified of seating yet. So another kind of add-on to the solution, but being able to display these numbers in the back lets the chef understand, hey, it's now I can let someone go on break right now. You know, if it's 3 p.m. and you've got 30 open menus, probably not a good time to let someone go on break. But in the olden days, you'd have to walk out to the dining room or ask somebody to do a count for you. It would just be a very manual process. And now all of it talks to each other. And the benefit of having host and kitchen together is that also as menu items or courses are being bumped off of the expo views, it'll change the colors on the host stand as well. And I know that's not why we're here today to talk about host, but it's having an efficient and a smart kitchen where everything talks to everything else, and everybody basically has insight into what's happening in other places in the restaurant. They can interact with the other parts of the restaurant by fast tracking things and tagging things, and not having things get lost in the rush of everything. So calm, quiet kitchens that are running super efficient, and everything's talking to everything else. Right? I could go on and on, but I won't.
Awesome. Thank you,
Do
Shari.
we have
That
any
was,
questions out there?
we do. And I'm going to leave it on this view for a
You're
second
still
because one of the
muted, Pen.
questions, there we go. I wasn't muted for stream, but I was for Shari. We do have a couple
Oh,
questions.
okay.
Um, so I'm going to leave it on this view just because one of the questions might be something you can demonstrate. If not, we can follow up in comments on the
Okay.
video on demand.
hmm
Mitzi asks, is there going to be a screen on Expo's side as well? How would the Expos know what food goes to which table?
So this is basically, oops, get bigger, stay bigger. This is basically the expo view, kind of that front of house, depending on where you're looking, it's the pass station. But when things get rung in, they're assigned a table. So checks, obviously I didn't assign a table to that one, but when you bring something in, that table information does pass along to the grid header so that you can see it. And let me read in something else here with a different table number. So for example, in this case, I've got something for table 50, and right now it's being held in delay, but when it's ready, everything will turn green, and then I'll know I need to take it out to table 50. And this is going to go to table 1.
Gotcha. So pretty straightforward. Two other questions. One is, how does the system know the different third-party destination types? And I'm assuming that's talking to the departments and things like takeout and delivery and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So that information, when it comes in through, generally it comes in through the point of sale. So we get a destination ID that goes with that, and that's configured on the backside of the kitchen. So it's not something the team members, configure, but it's configured in the backside. So maybe dine in is destination 1, a phone in carry out is 2, maybe a curbside, a web ahead is 3, and then your DoorDash is 4 or whatever. So based on what the point of sale is passing us, we build it into kitchen, and then we send it on the custom routing to either the unique station or to the unique area on that order ready view, so that way those drivers know where to pick the food up.
Right. So confirm with Squirrel PLS if you happen to be using that. We do exactly that, very well integrated with that solution so that you can have many, many different destinations and departments. Um, Last question came in as a DM, so it's not showing in chat, but um, I assume this is an existing customer of either Squirrel or QSR. And the question is all the stuff you showed today available in the base package of Kitchen, or are these add-ons?
Great question. So the only things that I showed you that are add-ons are anytime I mention buying a new piece of hardware. So adding the second grill or adding the order ready, and then Recipes Plus and Connect Smart Host. Those are extra. Everything I showed you before that is part of the base package.
Terrific.
Base
Um,
package has a lot in it.
it does. It does. And we find quite often people, are so heads down running their business, they sometimes forget to dig under the covers.
Mhm.
We have one other question has just come in. The question is from Michael. Can you configure a sort order for drinks so that drinks for a table appear in the order you want them prepared in, i.e., an ice cream drink at the bottom, at the top of the ticket, and the draft beer at the bottom?
Absolutely. We have something called the item category configuration. And when you build those in, you build priorities with those things to say, no matter how it gets rung in from the server or at the bar, wherever it comes from, when it hits, you're going to always put this first thing at the bottom of it, the first thing at the top of it. So yes, we call it it's like a prioritizing of menu items coming in, and that's going to determine where it lands on the screen. But yes, we can do that.
Awesome. Okay.
That was a great question.
If there's no other questions, just return to a little bit of housekeeping here. Thank you again, Shari. That was super informative. Um, this video will be on our live channel. We will also do an edited version tomorrow and post that on our main channel. If you have any other questions, if we didn't get to you or you think of something after the fact, um, multiple ways you can reach out. If you're an existing customer of either organization, just reach out to your sales rep. If you're somebody who's just more interested in getting more information, you can visit our websites or just post a comment in one of the video on demand versions, and we have someone monitoring. We'll be able to answer in the comment thread there. Thanks again to QSR Automations. I think that was a really informative session. We are going to be doing bi-weekly live streams, so keep an eye on socials. We will be promoting those and letting everyone know what the next topic is next week. Other than that, have a fantastic afternoon. Thanks. Have a great day.